Hello to all who find this general pick a jar collective reading. Today we're going to be going over this new moon in Capricorn transition and see just how exactly the energy that is looming in the atmosphere is able to propel us forward towards a path and sense of nurturing an environment that is in total attunement and also complementary to the growth and ascension that we have all collectively and individually experienced within the past year. Currently, within the astrological transits, I've noticed that there is a lot of earth and a lot of air, and that's about it. So, I do believe that people are utilizing their intuition and their inner guide or their spirit counsel at that, considering that I do see a rather noticeable shift in consciousness and our ability to connect to realms, beings, deities, whatever you may have it, that exist on planes of reality outside of ours. I find that we are able to utilize the messages that we are receiving in ways that are much more approachable and also practical. There is a bit of pragmatism in the air as well, if I'm honest. A bit of a, not necessarily inability, but I will say rigidness towards seeing the full scope of possibility that exists within our sphere of reality, or the ability for us to even shift or create that for ourselves. So I'd like to be focusing a bit in on that as well throughout this reading, just being able to see what we're able to plant and grow accordingly as we transition from Capricorn season to Aquarius season within the next 2.5 weeks. We also currently have this beautiful triple conjunction still ongoing with Aquarius right now between Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. So there is definitely a heightened sense of awakening and enlightenment in the air right now, and I feel like this is my time to just capture it and be able to really channel and provide messages that are going to be useful in the introspection or blueprinting, or even the overall execution, maybe, for the plans and reality that we are all building for ourselves. So we have 3 different herb jars today. They're all green. I normally close my eyes and ask Spirit what exactly they believe is best for today's session. So today we have Mugwort, YERBA, and Sage, and under that we have the corresponding symbols of the eye, the star, as well as the infinity symbol. So go ahead and take a moment to just sit in, pause this right here if you need to, and take a moment to decipher which group is calling for you and see where exactly you feel called to generally. So go ahead and take your time on doing so. I will provide the timestamps down below so you can go ahead and click to your respective group, and I will get started on your readings. So hello to all of you who have chosen the I Collective and the Mugwort jar as your corresponding herb for today's messages. Today we're going to be focusing in on this new moon in Capricorn energy, see what exactly it is that we are able to plant and grow for ourselves throughout the rest of 2021. I believe that having our first new moon cycle within this sign is definitely going to be shifting our sense of nurturing for one, and also just our ability to ground ourselves and root ourselves and get to the core of our being and see just what exactly it is that we utilize as a sense of internal navigation, and see if we have to perhaps update the system or change it in its entirety for other people. I definitely think that with all of this earth and air within the astrological transits at the moment, it's also asking for us to really analyze, for some even overanalyze, our ability to really find who we are. I think that's the big question that's coming up for a lot of people. They're making firmer choices that are in accordance with who they really are and what they are standing for in terms of not just their sense of morality, but their general path. I feel like we're all making strides towards the direction that is the most akin to the current state of being that we are at within our cycle, for better or for worse, for a lot of people. But I think that right now, this is a good time to really get into the roots and water them a bit, and maybe even repot ourselves if necessary, or just find different means of caring for not just our wounds, but for ourselves throughout the entirety of our evolution. Whoop, right off the bat, we have 2 coins. I'm going to use 3 decks today, might I add. I have the Tattoo Tarot, the Crow Tarot, and the Eternal Crystals Oracle that I'll be using. So I decided with the Tattoo Tarot because I figured, why not? It's all about expression and individualism, which I think is very akin to Aquarius. And then with the Crow Tarot, I thought that it was nice to have that juxtaposition of a crow where it's an earthly being, but it is not bound to the ground, and it utilizes the air to gain introspection and find means of enhancing their circumstances and their sense of prosperity overall, which I think is really cool. And the Eternal Crystals Oracle is also really good for pointing out chakra blockages and also being able to see where exactly we can direct our focus and attention in terms of finding out or weeding out, I should say, the blockages that lie within our eternal structure, or any fault lines, or simply any adjustments that need to be made. It doesn't always have to be a severe block. It can always be something that simply needs a bit of release, or something that needs to get cleaned out, if anything. I think that when it comes down to finding out or pinpointing blockages, a lot of people tend to think that there is something wrong with them, or that there is something wrong with their internal world. If anything, I believe it's disrupted. I don't necessarily think that it's broken. If anything, I just think that we all have to take time to find our individual timing and tune our reality to better complement it. So off the bat, from the first deck, I have the 2 of Wands and the 8 of Coins. So it really is big Capricorn energy, big energy, all about expanding your reality, finding passion, finding purpose, finding something that really lights your fire, so to speak, my beautiful I collective. I think that you are gaining insight on what exactly it is that makes you tick as a person, not in a bad way, but what makes you feel the most alive, the most supported, and the most motivated to wake up and live and share your truth every day on this plane. Especially with the 8 of Coins here, this is all about hard work and being recognized for your hard work, and finding different ways of basically utilizing the same skill set. It's working smarter, not harder. Even though earth signs work very hard, sometimes a little too hard. I have this ongoing joke where I tell my other fellow earth signs as a Taurus that we need to unionize. And I think that right now, with Capricorn being at the forefront of the atmosphere, we're all really asking ourselves, what exactly is our work ethic, or what exactly are we working for? What are we striving to attain and attribute to our community and individual experience? I think a lot of questions are coming up, ones that are a bit rattling, because it's asking us to dig deeper and to see just where exactly our current way of being comes from. It's like evaluating you for all that you are, and that is always a daunting task. But I feel that with the right environment and opportunities with that Two of Wands here, especially that this is the heart of your reading, I feel that you moving forward is necessary in order for you to acclaim the stability and just general sense of abundance that you naturally attain. It's just about manifesting it into your reality. I know here we have the Lovers. Oh, this is definitely about making choices. This is definitely about using the throat chakra, because I think immediately of Mercury whenever I see the Lovers. It's Gemini energy. So I think that, fine-tuning those details like we were talking about earlier, looking into the logistics of the options that are presenting themselves to you, especially if they are ones that seem promising, and being able to utilize your sense of grounding to decipher whether or not the opportunities that present themselves to you are going to be able to best support you throughout your journey. And woo, and now we have, what an interesting group you guys are. We have a lot of Wands. This is a very fiery, passionate group, and I'm kind of living for it in all honesty. We have Seven of Wands that came out with the Four of Wands right over here. So it's about, again, fighting to save, or rather assert your role within your environment. I think that a lot of you perhaps might find somebody or find a group of people, soulmates. Doesn't always necessarily have to be romantic, or opportunities that are very much aligned with you, and manifesting that cultivation of passion into something that is able to really permeate itself into every aspect of your being, especially with that High Priestess here. I think that a lot of you know that you have to make this decision for yourself, and I think that at first you were a bit rigid and stubborn about expanding and finding alternative options. But I feel like once you are able to allow yourself to release the need for control, I'm hearing, especially with Capricorn, Earth signs are very stubborn, and because we are the CEOs of the zodiac, we like to take control of absolutely everything. But I think that releasing control is a key component in your quest for happiness here, my I Collective. I think that you standing your ground, but being firm in your individuality, being firm in your intuition, and honoring it, if anything, and using that as your primary means of decision making, really. The Four of Wands is all about finding an environment that is able to accept us for all that we are, one that is harmonious and is also very much lively, one that is, I don't want to say healthy, but I will say thriving. So I think that finding people is a big theme for you, finding people in which you are able to expand this sense of passion with, perhaps even finding new people to work with, or even just finding people that you generally get along with. That Lover's card here, that whether it be a romantic situation or simply a non-romantic soulmate, and they are able to help you release that sense of guard and defensiveness in order for you to find new horizons that are very much empowering to you and the state of growth that you have achieved for yourself. With the High Priestess here, first of all, hello, ma'am. I'm very much a High Priestess type. I've had a lot of people tell me that, so I promise that's just not me stroking myself off in the reading. But the High Priestess is a bit secretive. So I think that also, being open and vulnerable is very necessary for you. I think that, with the very realistic, at times overly realistic, borderline crass attitude of earth signs can be a bit of a mood killer. I'm not gonna lie, a bit pessimistic. Um, so it might not at first ignite your vulnerability or your willingness to be open, I should say. But I feel that once you are able to really, again, release that need to constantly be in control of your circumstance, that you will find that curiosity and expansion has actually served you in this particular change of cycle. I think that if you haven't already began to venture outwards, I think that you probably will starting next month, especially with that 2 here, and next month is February, and that's the second month of the year. So I definitely think that within the next month, a lot of you will be in a different space, mainly mentally as well. I think also that you are re-establishing your internal world as well, and you are finding different ways to approach your healing cycles. For others of you, it doesn't have to necessarily be so materialistic, with the Eight of Pentacles being at the heart of the reading. It could also just mean, again, going back to your roots and seeing just how you are able to best respect, honor, and acknowledge your higher self for all that it is, and be able to not just what's the word I'm looking for? Analyze, but manifest the plane of reality that your higher self exists on. I'm talking a lot slower than usual, but I think that's because of all the earth energy that's going on right now. Mercury is in Aquarius, so it is helping a lot with channeling, but I feel like the general pace of everything is just so much more time consuming than usual. And I also think that, again, going back to the High Priestess that's chilling over here, I definitely also feel that looking to see perhaps what exactly has struck you before as not feeling welcomed within yourself or feeling welcomed amongst others, and being able to rationalize with those thoughts that aren't necessarily the most welcoming, yes, with the Knave of Cups, and approaching yourself with peace, even during times of chaos and disruption. With the Knave of Cups here, this again might definitely be a love opportunity for some of you, or just like being able to kindle a connection with somebody that is going to prove to be very, very helpful in your expansion, my I Collective. And now we have the Magician, yes. So we're talking about cultivating your reality, baby, with the Four of Coins, but don't forget to release so you are able to see the fluidity of possibility and venture outwards. So we have 2, 1 and 2. I'm very excited for you, I Collective. This, again, if you are a High Priestess or Magician type, regardless of gender, I definitely see you coming into union with somebody that is just your type. Someone that is very much on your level, so to speak, and that you both will be able to create not just a connection that is meaningful, but a connection that is powerful at that. One that is able to really uplift your connection to the spiritual world at large and enhance it, if anything. If it isn't a love connection, I definitely think that coming to terms with whether it be your own inner magic, especially with the Knave of Cups, because I also see this as a spiritual enlightenment for a lot of readings, or finding other people that just get you and understand your internal world and are able to really complement that. I think that you will see that you have made the right choice in venturing outwards in due time. I just think that you have to stay focused, if anything. I know that also with the Lover's card that came out here, Gemini tends to be a bit scatterbrained at times, not necessarily because they're disorganized, but more so because they have a lot of thoughts to process. And I think that taking time to process all of your options and the opportunities that present themselves, and asking yourself internally if it's really best for you, is going to be very helpful. Being very open with yourself, my I collective, is definitely a key component here. I also see that considering you have the mugwort jar, and mugwort is all about protecting yourself spiritually and your psychic powers. I definitely also see you looking to expand that world. So I would also say that maybe even looking towards like protection spells. Not to say that anyone is after you, but seeing if you are able to provide that sense of stability and security to yourself is a great way to see just where you are in terms of your spiritual evolution and progression. For others of you, I'm also feeling that you might also be a divinator yourself, or you might be a bit curious about diving into divination and seeing if you can provide it as a service, or if you're looking to deepen that service. Then I see that this is a very good time to meditate and ask your guides and ask your higher self what's the best way to move forward, and take notes if you need to. Pay attention to your dreams. That applies across the board, but especially for my esoterics and mystics that are watching, dreams are going to be really, really big throughout the next week, especially with Mercury chilling in Aquarius. So it's a really good time to get that dream journal going, or even like start a manifestation journal. I'm hearing for anyone, not even just the Harry Potters watching this at the moment. I think that writing everything down and planning accordingly is just overall best for earth sign seasons. Earth signs are very much list makers. I know I am. I love a good list. I love a good note. I love a good sticky note on the wall or a whiteboard where I can write down my chores and things to do. So utilizing what you can to keep your headspace clear is important. Well, I'm glad I said do protective work, because we have Five of Swords here. So with Five of Swords chilling right here, I think that it's about needing to win at all costs. There's an element of surprise, an element of sneakiness to it, but I don't think that it has to be. I think that if you're able to look into your inner world and understand it a bit better when you are asserting yourself and making these decisions accordingly, and looking at these options and leaving some behind, I think that you have to cut any cords of the past or anything that reminds you of the past. And also, I think that knowing how to best communicate your boundaries is key for you, my I collective, especially with the Ten of Wands that has just coming out on top of this. So we go from 2, 4, 7, 10. So there's a lot of passion, but I think that learning to distribute or delegate your energy and passion accordingly is going to be very important for you, which is probably why I said to make a schedule or a list or get accustomed to writing things down. So that way you're able to keep your head on straight and utilize your time wisely. I'm calling this reading time is of the essence for, I feel, a very good reason. I think time is going to be a big theme, or the distortion of it, I should say, is going to be very popular in the coming year, really, with this whole Saturn and Aquarius transition that we have ongoing. Right here we have the Eight of Wands. 9, excuse me, I miscounted. We have the Nine of Wands. So there is perseverance. I definitely see that throughout this transition you are going to be very assured of yourself, which is wonderful, but I also feel that because you're very assured of yourself and you have so much energy and so much potential that you are tapping into, it can become very easy to burn yourself out. So I definitely think that again, being very patient and honest with yourself and your work ethic, and what exactly it is that you are willing to do and what you aren't willing to do is very necessary. I will take this one. We have the Six of Swords, but it came out in reverse, so I'm going to leave it there. So with the Six of Swords in reverse, there is a resistance to transition, which is probably why I was saying that just now. But I feel that this resistance is simply an internal blockage, because swords is again that air energy. So that's just going more into our mental space and the thoughts that occupy it. So with the Six of Swords here and it being in reverse, I think that being able to examine the baggage that you are unable to leave behind, or really looking to see all of these opportunities that present themselves, or these options I should say that present themselves, and finding ones that just aren't going to be reminiscent of your previous experience or whatever it is that you're breaking out of here. I feel like a lot of you are simply breaking out of you being very hard on yourself and not really knowing how to express your sense of passion and purpose, and a lot of the burden that you carry is due to the inability to allow it to become outwards. Especially with the High Priestess that I see here and the Magician, it's going from a 2 to a 1, so it's about reversing and not allowing everything to be so internalized. So I think that again, finding different ways to unload your baggage, maybe finding new means of venting, or just allowing your thoughts to clear out with your sense of expression, whether you be a writer or an artist of some sort. Especially with all of this Priestess, Magician, and Knave of Cups energy. That's 2 Mercury cards that are here, by the way. So I definitely think that it's all about fire and desire for you. My beautiful eye collective. And now we have 3 of Cups. Yes, so have fun. Don't forget to have fun throughout these options. I know that you're going to be working very hard and you have a sense of purpose and direction that you are very much on your way towards, and I think that it's important for you to remember to make the most of it, because the destination is just half of the journey. So remember to take time for yourself, most importantly to recharge, to refresh yourself and your energetic field and space. And also remind yourself that there is always an opportunity to connect deeper with the people in the world around you, even if it seems so bleak at times. You always meet the people at the strangest yet right places. And oh yeah, especially with the Page of Cups that comes out again, I think that you know, it's just about being very real with yourself, that you can acclaim the sense of compassion and happiness that you naturally attain, my eye collective, and you can find that sense of harmony within the community and world around you. But I believe that you stepping out of your shell is very, very necessary, especially with this purpose that you have attributed to you. The world needs it. It's a breath of fresh air, or it's like a nice refreshing cup of water. Yes, the Queen of Cups is under it. Oh, you are so passionate, my eye collective. I love this group. I understand this reluctance to come out of your shell, because I honestly had the same strife before I made this YouTube channel. I didn't really put my divination or creative work out there because I just felt like I wasn't ready for so long, and I feel much more ready now, but I had to give myself time and space to feel ready. So remind yourself that too, you know, growth is not a linear construct. Be mindful that your pace is really your own. No one can ever take that away from you. No one can ever take time or energy away from you. And even if they do, you always have the ability to reclaim yourself and whatever you feel was lost, because you are always able to transmute it into something that benefits you. Yes, healing. So this is what I was talking about, healing from keeping everything so stifled and internalized. With the fuchsite here, this is corresponding to that heart chakra. So again, it's about opening up that space a little bit, allowing a little bit more room for vulnerability, or for people to see one mode of expression of said vulnerability. Being able to really play around with your creative and emotional space and find new means of resonance within it, and utilizing that as the fuel towards your charge on this beautiful path of yours. It's really opening up so many different doors of reality for you, my eye collective. I definitely, the music just stopped. That was wicked. Once I said the doors open, it just said, whoop. So you know what? We'll leave it in silence for now. My apologies if you do hear construction, by the way. I do live in New York, so there's just something happening all the time. So let's get to more of these Eternal Crystal Oracle cards and see what you have in store for you, my eye collective. You have Tiger Eye, which is funny because I'm using the Crow deck. This is about the solar plexus chakra, so that's all about your sense of courage, your sense of expression, like we were just saying. And also with the animals going next to it, there it goes. I also think that reconnecting with nature will be very helpful for you. Regrounding yourself is vital. This music keeps going on and off, but you know what? It's okay. We are grounding ourselves, baby. So I think that just remembering to be open and honest with yourself and your pace as you continue to find new modes of structure and expression is important. Yes, with intuition, amethyst right over here. Yeah, with that high priestess here, that big up mystic energy. I definitely think that, again, using your intuition to help you make these decisions will be powerful, but also making sure to keep your auric field cleansed, maybe even doing a cleanse for the new moon in Capricorn, and allowing your, not just your third eye, but just your general energetic field to get a little sense of relief, a little bit of a cleanse, if you will. And taking time to perhaps meditate, or to perhaps just rest, speak with your guides. I definitely think that there are some healers or light workers, shadow workers, whatever you have it, mystics in this group. And I definitely think this is time for you to expand that craft, but also be mindful of how you're able to charge yourself in between sessions. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what you do, whether you be a mystic or an artist, I feel like this is a very abstract group. So whatever you do is very much rooted in who you are, but it isn't necessarily the most mundane or practical. So regardless of what you do, I think that just being mindful of where you're going and how you get there is just as important as getting there in the first place. Again, it's all about the journey as well as the destination. So keeping yourself aligned with who you really are is really important for you in order to unlock these new realities and opportunities for you, my beautiful eye collective. Your bottom deck energy is Pipestone, which is linked to ancestors and the root chakra. So this is definitely a very psychic group. I really like you guys. I love the fact that you are digging deeper into your roots. Perhaps some of you are even going to see relatives or to see family, or you're revisiting somewhere that has significance to your ancestral lineage. And that you'll definitely find like a higher sense of calling once you get there. But just being able to realize that the experience you are making for yourself is so much more than what you had originally endured, and that it's unlike anything that you have ever stepped into, which I know may sound a bit too much at first, but I think it's a beautiful opportunity to be the most sincere and ethical version of yourself, my I collective. I think that remembering to not just be who you are, but just remember everyone that has come before you, whether it be spirit kin, spirit guides, ancestors, angels, whatever it may be, that have helped you find this current state of being. Making sure that you're open and honest with them, and maybe even making a contract with them about this purpose that you have, and finding new ways of being able to communicate with them for one, and also work with them is another. It's two different things. Like, I work with my guys, but I also talk to them. I treat them as if they are another guest in my home. I make them coffee, I give them wine, I give them offers, I speak to them whenever I can. I always make sure that they feel welcomed. So I think that making sure that you feel welcomed is key component in your success on this new path. But I think that the sense of welcoming and home that you are searching for is definitely within, and that once you are able to really release your attachment to the past and the experiences that it contained, you are able to really just find a new world of potential that is ultimately yours to explore. So that is what I'm seeing for you, my beautiful I collective. I absolutely adored reading for you. I thought this was so fun and so insightful. Even for me, I feel like this is probably my group, if I'm honest. So do feel free to let me know down below if this resonates with you, or if you have any questions, comments, and concerns about your reading. I am looking forward to seeing you guys soon, and I will talk to you then. Bye. Hello, hello to all of you who have chosen the Star Collective and YERBA Santa as your corresponding herb for today's messages. First and foremost, I do want to apologize if you hear other people in the background. I do live in New York, and things are always happening right outside my door all the time. This is nothing different. So please excuse that. Let's focus in on this little vibe that we got going on here, my beautiful Star Collective. We're going to be focusing in on this new moon in Capricorn. We're going to be able to get a little bit of insight on how we are able to best plan and support, off the bat, Five of Wands, our growth, even if that means facing the whether it be the illusion or reality of challenges from outside forces, especially with this coming up right off the bat as the heart of the reading. I definitely think that already, considering how fast that card showed itself, like, excuse me, I didn't even ask the question yet. I definitely think that this is about you overcoming that sense of conflict, whether it be internal or external, and being able to really honor your sense of integrity and your sense of passion, and being able to utilize the fire burning within you, especially because it is wands, and wands is a fire suit. Utilizing that as your motivation, being a bit of a trailblazer, if anything, not really having to second guess yourself and defying the expectations of the people around you. Oof, reinforced by strength. I'm using the Crow Tarot today. I will put all of the links to the decks down below. If I'm not able to put links because the internet now has a cloudcast system, I will simply put the name. But I am using the Crow Tarot, the Tattoo Tarot Ink and Intuition deck, and the energy Eternal Crystals Oracle Energy deck. So I will have all of that information down below. But going back to the beautiful strength card that has graced our presence, going back into that fire energy that we were now discussing, which I think is funny because we do have an infinity sign group. So perhaps for some of you, you do have messages in that group as well. The timestamp will be down below. But I'm seeing with strength again, it's about honoring that sense of balance. This is all about Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is very much proud of who they are and all they are able to accomplish and have accomplished, and are unwilling to break their moral compass or navigational system for anyone or anything. Leo is a fixed sign, my fellow fixed sign at that. So there is always unwavering dedication, especially with the strength card. It's being able to really utilize that, your strengths and your vulnerabilities, and find empowerment even in that, what we perceive to be as weakness, so to speak. I think that it's very important for you to be very fluid throughout this time, my beautiful star collective. I think this is a great time for you to really explore just how exactly you're able to best honor who you really are, but that is not done without I don't want to say disappointing, but outgrowing other people. I think that you're outgrowing old places and circumstances and human beings. I think we all are. I think that's the general theme for all of these will I can't even speak. Will most likely be growing pains. That was like all the cultivated messages trying to come out at once. Excuse me. Ooh, I need a sip of tea actually after that. But as I was saying, strength is all about honoring the duality that lies within you. And I think that some people try to chalk you up to be one side of yourself more than the other, or don't really see you for the rounded and fluid being that you are. And it creates a bit of conflict. It creates a bit of conflict with how you perceive yourself and your strong suits. If not that, it definitely creates conflict with how other people perceive you and what they deem you as. And it doesn't necessarily match up with who you really are. That sense of disconnection, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's more so, if anything, people underestimating you, or people not choosing not to see, I should say, the not just a strength, but velocity and ferocious nature that you have, especially with two fire cards right after that. Yerba Santa is all about the throat chakra, and it's all about being able to confidently speak your piece and your truth. So I think that's a very big theme for you, my star collective, especially now that I'm really looking at this strength card and I'm seeing the line with his tongue sticking out. He's actually roaring. So I think this is about you letting your roar be heard. No Katy Perry. And being able to best honor your pride, or a healthy sense of pride. You know, I talk shit about egos quite often, but you can have a bit of an ego as long as it's in moderation and it doesn't overpower all of you and you see yourself as more than your ego. That's totally fine. I think that balance is key for anything, first and foremost. But I think in your case, it's about balancing the internal and external perception of yourself, my star collective. Oh, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Yes. So this is definitely about being able to, again, overcome that feeling of loss. Yeah, especially now we have 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Being able to overcome a feeling of loss, or feeling left out, feeling left in the cold. I feel like maybe if this does involve other people, it's about feeling excluded from the community that is surrounding you. Or your community not being able to recognize your potential, or people not recognizing your potential. If not that, then I feel that this is perhaps even internal, about your sense of internal structure, and rooting out any conflicts that can come in to further complicate your sense of progression for one, and also your sense of security, and being able to fine tune your inner dialogue and allowing it to be not just compassionate but empowered. Especially now we have three cards for you guys. We have the Hanged Man, we have the Six of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Pentacles. Oh, this is an earthly group. I like that. And again, like I had this brief mention of earth signs in the last group, but we need to unionize. I think I'm gonna say this in every group because I'm serious. Like, people always have this perception of earth energy being the end all be all in terms of finding an appropriate worker. I think that people place a lot of burden and responsibility on you, and I think that you are asserting yourself, or if not burden and responsibility, it's unrealistic expectations primarily. And I think that it's about you taking that necessary sacrifice, especially with the Hanged Man here, and looking to see if what you are giving and receiving is equal take. And also if the people or places that you currently surround yourself with are not willing to offer you the sense of harmony and recognition that you are gunning for, then you realize it is time for you to simply hang it up and do something a little different. Find a sense of delegation elsewhere. With the Six of Pentacles is very charitable, but I also see it as reciprocation. So I think that that sense of reciprocation is being renewed here. What you're able to offer yourself, let alone the people around you, and ensuring that it's sustainable and not just powerful. I feel that you ensuring that whatever it is that you are either walking into or walking away from has to match the state of circumstance that you are currently in. With the Hanged Man here, this card is ruled by Pisces. So normally it's seen as a bit of a martyr, but on the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's all about being able to look at things from a different perspective. So I think that you are reanalyzing your sense of reciprocation between yourself and the people around you. And you are looking to see how you are able to upgrade that or find a better sense of balance, as I was saying earlier, especially now that we have the Two of Pentacles coming up here again, that infinity symbol. I definitely think that some of you need to go look at the infinity group and see what messages lie for you there. I feel like there's a few pieces to your specific puzzle, my beautiful star collective. I think that it's time to seek additional sources of information and kind of broaden your perspective a little bit, and looking outside of the preconceived notions that have been placed onto you, whether it be by yourself or from the people around you. I think that it's time to reprioritize yourself and prioritize your time and energy, and delegating it very wisely. I really think that I called this reading Time is of the Essence for a reason. Time is coming up as a repetitive theme for all of the groups. So I think that you are looking to regain a sense of structure here, but one that is very understanding of who you really are. Because whenever I see earth signs, not only do I think of, well, earth, but I think of rooting, and I think of the core of a person, you know. Earth signs, like in their light aspects, they are so generous and humble and down to earth. And I think that it's important that we all are able to really accept ourselves for all that we are, and find new ways of approaching our inner workings, not with a sense of judgment, but with a sense of clarity and with the intention of understanding. I'm definitely seeing for you guys a bit of a shake up in the places and people that you surround yourself with primarily, and being able to redelegate, you know, what or who is worthy of your time. That's another thing with Leo too. Leo's all about royalty. It's a very regal sign. They think very highly of themselves. That's not shade. I live for it. I live for a Leo's confidence, in all honesty. But Leos are very assured of their pack, so to speak. Even though they're very sociable and very chatty, charismatic figures. Like, I don't know a Leo that doesn't know at least like 5 million people, in all honesty, at minimum. So I think that it's about being able to carry yourself with grace and realizing that if people aren't making the initiative to be a part of your world, then it's best to keep them at a distance. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have some sort of spat or altercation with them, but it's more so hinting at realizing just where exactly they lie in your life and being able to redelegate yourself to the people who are actively seeking you and your essence out. Yes, with the sun here. Oh my God, this is a big fiery and earthly group. I really like that. It's about being able to honor your passion in a way that is, again, sustainable, but is not subdued. I feel like with earth signs, we tend to stifle our sense of expression a bit. If not that, we tend to not put all of ourselves out there immediately. Earth signs are a bit reserved. So I think it's also about breaking out of that sense of reservation. But I feel like the reason why you've been so reserved is because you just have so much within you that or at least so many different like opinions and overall circumstances ongoing, that you find it easy for you to now step away from whatever it is or whoever it is that no longer serves you. I think that you recently have gotten through that period of strife with the Five of Wands being at the heart of the reading, feeling a bit unsure of your place among it all. But I think that this new moon in Capricorn is really honing in your sense of pride primarily, and it's being able to really pull you deeper into your roots, but in a way where you're able to fully put yourself out there and acclaim a sense of harmony and happiness with the sun here. With the sun card, it's always like the quintessential card of optimism, as well as favorable outcome. So I definitely think that there is definitely that light at the end of the tunnel for you, my beautiful star collective, if you've been experiencing slight disconnection or just general insecurity within your environment or company, I should say. I think that you are now stepping away from that. I think that you'll be having a very important conversations about the integral workings of the connections and places and opportunities that are presenting themselves to you. Especially with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's about stepping out of that feeling of scarcity and really stepping into a heightened sense of abundance, but one where you are able to have a reciprocated relationship, not just with your community, but with the universe as well, which is why I really think this is about you honoring who you really are and utilizing that as your pavement towards this path of ascension, so to speak, especially with the sun here. I think that this is also contributing towards a new sense of enlightenment for you, my star collected, like reaching bigger and greater heights, and being able to finally become the beautiful supernova that you are. The sun is the ultimate star of the universe. So I think this is about you really stepping into your power, but in a way where it's very outward and unmistakable. Like, people will not recognize you after you terminate this transitional period. People are going to be like, oh, you're the same person. Some people won't even be able to physically recognize you. I'm hearing for others of you. Maybe you're on a journey towards health, or changing up a way that you look ongoing during this process. And then afterwards, just by the general shift of your general energy, people won't be able to put their finger on you the same way that they once were. They can't put you in that box that you're so used to being in. Let's see, what's your bottom deck energy for this? The Page of Swords. Yeah, so this is definitely all about speaking your truth, living your truth, having those, again, important conversations with the people around you about your standards, your growth, and your state of evolution, really, and where exactly you are expecting to go from here. And even if you're feeling as if you have to leave some people behind, I don't think you have to. I think that it's just about maintaining a open communication, and also knowing when to be open and when to be reserved, so you don't feel as if you're overextending yourself too much. Leos have very big, beautiful, generous hearts. They're very, very loving people. At times to a fault. So I think that, you have an unwavering sense of loyalty, whether it be to your circumstance or to the people around you. But I think that by you stepping out and stepping into yourself, you're wondering if that will in some way tamper with the standing that you have within your environment and with the people around you. I feel like some people aren't really going to like it, but other people are going to be completely entranced by this affirmative decision and growth that you are claiming for yourself, my Star Collective, and that it is it's all in due timing. It's all in due timing. This is definitely something that you have been wanting to do for a very, very long time. And I feel like it's something that you premeditate that conflict over, which is why the Five of Wands came out as the heart of the reading. But I just don't think that it has to be that complicated. Five of Wands is, it's all about that very sudden exchange of words. It doesn't have to always be an argument. It's just about, like, you suddenly, like, having a conversation about something difficult, and you weren't trying to really have that conversation in that moment, but it happened. Eight of Wands is also just as sudden, but I feel like with Eight of Wands, it's much more ambiguous. I feel like there's a set theme with the Five of Wands, and that is always about overcoming or understanding differentiation. And again, you have the Sun card. Oh my God, is this a group of Leos that are watching this? Like, so yeah, again with the Sun, damn, you guys really love yourselves, but that's not shade at all. I am feeling your sense of confidence and your sense of assurance. I love it, love it, love it. I love that sense of directness from fire signs. I have an Aries stellium, although I am a very humble Taurus. So I definitely empathize with that ability to not care, if I'm honest, and just be like, well, this is me. And if you're not into it, sorry. I think that, especially with the last pick a jar reading, a lot of people are really stepping into themselves and not allowing limitation to be imposed onto their life, let alone their identity. But I think this is more so your identity, Star Collective. This is more about you and who you are, especially with the Sun coming out twice. And now we have Queen of Coins in reverse. So I think that this is also revolving around the sense of nurturing that you really need for yourself, that you feel is currently lacking in your contemporary circumstance. You're not really seeing the kindness that you radiate, and you are questioning the authenticity of the company that you are keeping. and also questioning, yes, especially with the Hierophant here, this is two earth cards. This is all about structure and community and counseling. So I definitely think that having, again, that counseling will be very, very helpful in you overcoming any feelings of feeling cold, especially when it comes down to the people that you love. For others of them, I definitely think that you're going to see after this transition just who exactly is really there for you and who isn't. I don't think that anyone is necessarily plotting on your downfall, so to speak, but I think that it's merely just about people outgrowing each other, or people not really seeing eye to eye on certain aspects of life, especially if you are having a relationship with this person, and regardless of the kind of relationship, it's not grounded in anything substantial. It's a bit more fleeting, but that doesn't have to always be a bad thing, you know. And now you know that that's just someone that you can talk to on the weekends, as opposed to someone that you can look to when you're seeking advice or seeking a practical favor. So yeah, again, Two of Coins, goodness. Yeah, it's all about that delegation and that give and take, really. That being able to prioritize the balance that you have. And again, this is all about structure. So I definitely think that this is about you structurizing your social circle and your environment more than anything. Because I'm seeing Wands, which is all about the social aspect of environment, and Pentacles, which is physical, earthly environment. So I think that's really at the forefront here, especially with the Sun. The Sun is really what not just fuels, but nurtures both. It's about nurturing your soul and allowing it to shine brightly because it has to, like, no questions asked, you know. And, you know, not being able to allow in people or circumstances that question who you are unnecessarily, and look to or seek to not diminish but undermine your character, and don't really see all of the light that you embody. They only see what they want to see. But you know, I think this is more just about allowing them to do exactly that, because you are very I'm taking these through. You're very assured of yourself. Yes, yes, yes. So we have Ace of Swords, again another Swords card. And then we had the Six of Cups, and we have the Queen of Wands, more fire energy. Yeah, so this is about stepping out again of that more reserved earth energy and into something that is so much more unabashed and so much more flamboyant. But you've been wanting to be a flamboyant, lively character. You are a lovely, flamboyant, lively character. I think this is really about you being open about it for the first time, like really experimenting with it and allowing it to just flow. As you change, you're gonna be changing up your sense of expression. And if you find that certain people can't really keep up with it, or find it to be unnecessary or questionable for others of you, that it is time to release them, because this is you stepping into yourself, and you cannot allow anyone or anything to get in the way of that. Especially with the Nine of Cups here, because this is a wish fulfillment. This is what you want. The truth, your truth is what you want. Your truth is what you need. Your truth is exactly what you are looking to manifest into your reality. Your internal truth, your internal world, your internal being, your higher being. All of that is coming into fruition for you, my beautiful star collective. I'm very happy for you. And you're being very clear about who you are, and very clear cut at that, cutting out anyone or anything that questions why you are doing all of this, because you know why, and you also don't feel as if you have to explain yourself to other people. Ace of Swords, even though that is swords are all about communicating, it's ooh, apparently this card wants to see. This is your bottom deck energy. Again, more swords. Yes, we have the Knave of Swords. But Knave of Swords is, or swords energy in general, I should say, is very blunt force. It's very much like, yeah, that's it. and they don't really have much to say afterwards. And if they do, they tend to keep it to themselves, or only really allow all of it to expound itself if they are comfortable, or they find that sense of familiarity within their environment or company. So I think that this is just about you embarking on a new way of thinking about yourself, and a new way of carrying and communicating your truth, and seeing that you are not just seeing, but really believing and acting on the fact that you are so much more than what you currently are. Like, you're not even close to your final form, and that's the best part for you, my star collective. You see the beauty in evolution. Stars evolve, and when they die, depending on the particular velocity or size of that star, they can explode and just leave remnants throughout. If it's a supernova, it can become a black hole, or it can become a neutron star and just, burn for millions of years and slowly dissolve over time. I think that you are seeing that your star cycle is up for evolution, which is probably why you picked the star group. And it's time for you to really be very clear about the fact that you are not the same person that you once were. And if, people can't handle that, then that's a personal problem. That's me. Yeah, especially with the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, that's me tapping into, again, that very blunt fire energy. Like, if you can't handle me for all that I am, well, then you're going to have a hard time keeping up, baby, because I'm a lot. I feel like that's what a lot of you are thinking at the moment. Or something along those lines, of course. Not that exactly for verbatim, but, that real... what's the word I'm looking for? That rebellious attitude. I think it's funny because Leo is the sister sign of Aquarius, and we currently have that triple conjunction in Aquarius ongoing still between Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. So I think it's about opposing expectations. Both Leo and Aquarius are both fixed signs, so that's what they live to do. They live to defy the instruction of others. So I think you're really honing in on that very individualistic notion, Star Collective. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. I really like you guys. If you pick this group, please let me know in the comments, because I want to talk to you. I feel so warm and engaged when I'm reading for this group. I think it's fantastic. So lastly, for you, my beautiful, beautiful stars, I'm going to allow for this to go by first. Beautiful. Literally, right as I say rebellion, fucking cops want to go up. Anyways, so I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you guys as some final messages, just to wrap this up and pack it up and put it to go. Let's see, what do we have for you, my beautiful star collective? What can the star collective expect during this new moon in Capricorn transition? Woof! We got 3 off the bat. I will take these. Oh, this is travel. Yes. Again, it's about traveling to spaces that are so much more welcoming of you. Your bottom deck energy is blue lace agate, which is communication, the throat chakra. Yes, again, Yerba Santa. Come on, come through, Miss Intuition. So, yeah, this is definitely about open and honest communication about who you are and your standards. So here we have the Ceresite. This is travel. This is for the root and crown chakra. So when I think of travel, I'm thinking of, traveling towards places that are more understanding of you. It could be physical travel and like physically moving, or, physically moving to a different social circle or environment for some of you, give or take the current health and social circumstance that we have, responsibly, of course. But with the Sarah, it could also be online, considering we're in the age of Aquarius, now that I just thought about it. So this could be just about you finding new means of inner exploration and channeling who you really are at your core, because this is root and crown, so I'm thinking the bottom to the top of the chakra system here. So I'm definitely feeling you really upgrading yourself in your entirety again. I feel like you're traveling or to greater heights. It was more of like a what's the word I'm looking for, metaphorical expression of the word travel I'm feeling for you. Especially here that, oh, we have cinnabar, which is business in the sacral chakra, and now we have clear quartz, which is meditation. Yes. So I definitely think that this is about that sense of ambition and motivation that's at the forefront for you guys. And it's about being able to clear out anyone that is really proving to be difficult or obstructive in you taking care of this particular business. And this business is you evolving. It could be, if it is a work related move or a home related move, I'm hearing for some of you, especially considering you guys have so many pentacle cards. And you know, people at work underestimating you. I think that definitely you finding different means of employment or environment are definitely on the horizon, and you're going to find one that makes you very, very, very happy. With the clear quartz here, clear quartz is like the greatest amplifier of the crystal spectrum. They're really good for just eradicating any and all negative energy, but also if you have like bits of black in it, which is more like a smoky quartz situation, that can also be very helpful for also not just purifying but blocking out energy that is not at all akin or aligned to you as you are in this robust state of evolution, Star Collective. I think that you're really clearing out all of the bullshit, so to speak, and getting to the root of who you are, for one, but also the root of other people's intentions in terms of their occupation within your sphere of reality. That's also applicable again for environments and work for others of you. Being able to find happiness elsewhere. But you are going to find a lot of happiness elsewhere. I feel like this is a one door closes, another one opens situation. But when you get to this new place, you're going to find multiple alternate routes of happiness, as well as the one that you had currently opened for yourself. Especially again, going back to that Nine of Cups that's here. You know, it's about finding an ultimate sense of fulfillment, not just one that's fleeting or circumstantial, but one that is very much meant for you. I think that this change was meant for you, and that this was something that you again premeditated doing for a long time. And I think that now that you are finally doing it, you waited, and I feel like the timing was also conflicting again, which is why that Five of Wands came out at first. But this is the time. This is your time. Go. This is your light to go, and to make sure that along the way you stop or cut anyone or anything that is underestimating you throughout this, because again, you are not the same person that you were yesterday. You are not the same person that you were last week. You are not the same person that you were last month. You are not the same person. I keep hearing the word yesterday because I feel like this is such a big state of change, where it's like you're going to go through a period where you're going to be so fluid in expression that you're going to be open to maybe not even looking like the same person every single day. And maybe you're very much abstract in your means of self-expression. And I think that's definitely going to be experimented with and played with a lot throughout this transition. And people will have their doubts, people will have their opinions, but it's not going to stop you from being confident and warm within your being, and attracting others who appreciate your radiance for all that it is. So that is what I'm seeing for you, my beautiful Star Collective. I am over the moon for you. I'm so happy to see you reach this state of understanding within yourself and that I was able to provide some insight for you. I hope it was helpful. I hope that I was able to definitely help point you in the right direction. If anything, please do let me know in the comments down below if this resonates or if you have any other questions or concerns that I can help you out with. Do look after yourselves, and I will be sure to talk to you soon. Bye. Hello to all of you who have chosen the Infinity Collective and Sage as your corresponding herb for today's messages. Today we're going to be focusing in on this new moon in Capricorn. We're going to see what all the fuss is about. We're going to see what the girls are up to. We're going to dive in a little bit on just how we're able to really manifest our wildest dreams into reality. We're getting a lot of intuitive downloads about what could be. I'm seeing with the current messages that I've gotten for your other two beautiful groups and peers. So I'm thinking that a lot of this is leading us towards a new start, but one that isn't built on false promises or faulty what's what I'm looking for, infrastructure, so to speak. Really being able to just walk away and find or build something that is so much more customary to who we really are. But I think that it's just about gathering the initiative and nerve necessary in order for us to do so. I think that we're a bit too clear and realistic or overly logical about what possibility could be. So I think that if anything, all this Aquarius energy that we have is really allowing us to step outside our comfort zone and think outside the box a little bit more. Capricorn is emphasizing that energy because it's very resourceful. It's an earth sign. It knows what it wants. It knows exactly how to get it, and it will stop at nothing to do so. They are very relentless when it comes down to personal ambition. So I think that a lot of us are just, really garnering that sense of passion and ignition, really. It was just like, putting in the key. That's what we're doing now. We are either about to or have acquired the keys necessary and are just putting it right into the ignition and are taking off onto a more promising future. Oh yes, especially with the Knight of Swords that just popped out as your heart of the reading. This is definitely about you guys running towards an opportunity or an opportunity gunning after you. But I think that it's one that has potential to really expand the way that you think and perceive yourself and the world around you. I think that it's really igniting a new sense of direction that you had once entertained but didn't really see the full scope or nuance of. I think that it presented itself as a grand idea and you were initially a bit dismissive of it, but now it's time for you to step towards it because you see a lot more of the inner workings and logistics towards this new sense of thinking and perceiving that you have recently engaged in, my Infinity Collective. I think that it's about realizing just like how you are infinite and how your magic itself is limitless, and you are now really showing all your cards, so to speak. And you're not afraid to really vocalize. I'm going to leave these two. This one came out for the last group. You're not afraid to really vocalize just what exactly it is that you want, and you are spending copious amounts of time planning for it. Or if you aren't currently, then you will be. I think that it's just about having that sudden like flash of genius, like very much like an aha kind of moment about an idea or thought that you once had and seeing validity in it. Yes, especially, oh my god, yes, especially with the Magician and the King of Swords. This is a very airy group, which I really like. The Magician is another card ruled by Mercury. It could be for either Virgo or Gemini. Take whatever works for you. But with the Magician here, I definitely think this is about transmutation and transformation, because you go from a knight to a king, my Infinity Collective. Do you see the glow up? Hold on, mama. Wait a minute. So you go from being on this horse in the, it looks like winter to me, going through like this savannah, and now here you are. Well, not a savannah, that's a desert. Um, but to me, it looks like winter, like some sort of plateau. It's not a favorable landscape to be riding a horse on, to say the least. And now here you are chilling on this beautiful white throne with Saturn right above you. Very, very applicable for this triple conjunction that we are all still feeling the effects of at the moment. So I definitely think that for some of you, this might be a Saturn return. That's something that I am definitely hearing. For others of you, this is about taking full control over your fate and your destiny, and realizing that you have so much more to offer the world, and that you are not going to sell yourself short of it. You are very assured of yourself, yes, especially with the Three of Swords that just came out. This group is very much in their head about this current phase of evolution. I think this is very much about that planning stage for you guys, because the Knight of Swords came out as the heart of the reading. So you're progressing towards something, and I think you are definitely about to acclaim a significant level of succession. But that comes with after realizing that there was not potential or anything substantial in the past and what it has once offered you. I think that you have realized a great truth about yourself, my Infinity Collective, a great truth about who you are and just what exactly it is that you are offering to the world around you, especially with the King of Swords here, because kings are very much inclined to interact and serve their community. The Magician here is all about utilizing your resources wisely and cosmically. So for some of you, this might also be about a healing journey as well, and you realizing that you are so much more than the past stripes that you have been dealt. All of these groups are going through a healing journey. I think that especially with the Saturn conjunction being just so proactive in our atmosphere, I think that we are all reflecting or are in a state of reflection about where we've been and where we're going. Saturn is all about karma, and with that conjoined with Jupiter, that's all about expansion. So I think that a lot of us are utilizing this period of reflection and the epiphanies that we receive within them as the ambition and weapon we need to really fight our way towards whatever it is that we are reclaiming for ourselves. I think that what you have realized about yourself is not easy. I think that you've come to terms with an aspect of your healing journey that it is a bit more prolonged or even interminable. I'm hearing for others of you, something that you'll never really forget, but you will release the pain in due time. And I think that at this current moment, you are releasing that pain by looking towards different means of vocalizing your inner truths. I think that you were, or you either are or you have gone through a period of introspection. Swords are very active, but they're very quiet. They're not very loud and proud like wands are, which is more of a fire suit. You know the wind is moving, but you never see it. So I think for a lot of you, this pain that you have previously reflected on or even experienced for others of you is something that you didn't really anticipate on telling anybody about. I think that you wanted to kind of just keep it to yourself and just do what you can to release the emotion accordingly. And whatever you can't release, you've chalked it up to being able to do so in due time. But I think now you are being propelled towards being so much more open about your mental space, let alone your heart space, especially with the heart being pierced by the Three of Swords in this depiction. I think that it's time for you to come clean about where exactly you are right now, my Infinity Collective. But I think that in you, you know, standing firm in all that you are, even in what you perceive to be vulnerability, or for others if you weakness, because I also think that you are greatly altering your inner dialogue and the way in which you communicate with yourself to be much less judgmental and rational, and to be more open to your soft side. That's what I'm hearing for a lot of you. I think that you have a very soft heart, but you put on a very callous expression, or a very cold one at that. You're not all that it seems when it comes down to your inner and outer self matching. You kind of like having that sense of ambiguity to you. But I think that in order for you to have a successful relationship with yourself, you need to be able to be very honest about where exactly you are at this moment, and how do you feel? How are you, and how do you think about how you feel? Like, how do you really sit there and internalize your emotions and experiences, and how are you able to transform and transmute that? I think that with this new moon, it's allowing you an opportunity to have a deliverance of truth that might be a bit sticky at first. But I think that even though it's sticky, the way that it's communicated, or the way that it's brought to your attention, is done so with tact and responsibility, with the King of Swords there. I don't think that it's something that's meant to knock you on your ass, so to speak. I think that it's, yes, especially now that we have the Nine of Pentacles here, I think this is just a very private moment I'm hearing. I feel like this is a moment of self-reflection primarily. Like, this is you having your epiphany about yourself and just what exactly it is that you are capable of. But in terms of overcoming difficulty and strife, it's so funny because like the other group that I just did was really coming to terms with their sense of self-expression. I think that for you, this is about finding out how you can express yourself, or better express yourself, so to say. Because Pentacles is about finding a greater sense of rooting, especially with the Nine of Pentacles. It's about being very proud of all you have harvested and cultivated for yourself, with the hard work and ethic that you have put into securing a sense of stability, my Infinity Collective. I think that you are finally coming into arms grabbed of your most sincere form of self, and you are finally having that very open and honest conversation with your higher self about where exactly you're going. I think that you're going to have this, again, that aha moment. That's what's manifesting for you through this new moon. I think that it's after feeling a bit bound by the past, if anything, and now that enough time has passed, especially with the Knight of Swords here, I definitely see that as time, considering it's that air Mercurian energy. Now that you know, you've taken the appropriate time necessary to come to a firm standing with yourself, it's now time to deepen that understanding and find new means of communicating with yourself internally about your experience, and finding alternative means of transmuting it into something much greater than yourself. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the Nine of Pentacles, you see a woman, she's in a beautiful garden. So I think it's about you allowing that growth to externalize. But I think that it's not about you rushing to plant that garden, so to speak. I think that if anything, you're very carefully considering which plants you like in your garden. I feel like you're a bit more meticulous than my other two groups. But I like that about air energy. Air energy is very precise. It's very much on the nose when it comes down to localizing or finding very particular assets or aspects of a system or circumstance that do not work. So I think that is what you're doing. You are gaining that sense of introspection and communication with yourself, and you are really finding a more compassionate inner dialogue, especially now that we have the Nine of Wands. This actually came up for another group earlier. So to see two nines here, I definitely think that this is about, again, perseverance, not allowing yourself again to be bound by the past, realizing that you have potential to tap into, and that is your priority at the moment. That's your main mission, is to find new methods of tapping into your potential, because you are now realizing how much potential you truly have, and you see your ability to create something that is much larger than you, and that you have a much larger role in the world than you had initially realized. And now it is time for you to share that. It's time for you to share it, even that experience of struggle. For some of you, I think that you will find and reap success. Maybe so. I feel like this is more of like a more articulated group. So maybe some of you are writers, or you're just you're not as abstract as the other groups. I think that if anything, maybe your method of thinking is more abstract, but in terms of self-expression, again, I think there's just so much more than what meets the eyes with you, and that's not a bad thing at all. I think that having that sense of duality within your inner and outer world is really cool, especially when you honor it and own it, and you know that there is so much complexity to your being and experience. I love a good level of complexity for any given situation. I'm going to take this card. I'm going to take these two here. Your bottom deck at this moment is the Five of Cups. Yeah, so it's about overcoming sorrow for you guys, for sure. And being so much more supportive of yourself throughout this process, especially with the Four of Wands here. Again, Four of Wands came out. This is about you finding that peace in the world around you, and creating an environment that is understanding of you. But I think this is more of like an internal environment. I don't think this is necessarily a grandiose outward progression for a lot of you. I think that a lot of this is very internal, and that you need it, though. You need a push to think a little differently and to see a little differently. And this new moon in Capricorn is going to provide you exactly that. But I think that it's going to be very refreshing, if anything, especially with the Magician here, because you're seeing things, or you're seeing the resources and circumstances around you in a way that is now resourceful and isn't necessarily a hindrance. So you're being able to transform your ability to find yourself in new environments or modes of passion, because this is the Wands. So again, this is all about finding out what invigorates and ignites your soul. And Four of Wands is just about finding a social circle that's a bit complementary to it, or an environment that's complementary to it. So to go from 9 to 4, I definitely think that it's really like, about that loop that is healing. It really is not linear at all. In order for you to take a few steps forward, I feel like some of you might take 2 steps back. But I think that's very necessary, because you're going to be able to really weed out what exactly makes you feel disconnected, or feel hurt, so to speak, and dismiss it accordingly. Thank it for what it has taught you, and then release it, because it is something that will not allow your spirit to grow, but will rather constrict it. And I think this is about you breaking out of that sense of inner constriction. With the Four of Wands, this is about, again, finding that social circle. So maybe, you make a friend throughout this time, or maybe you become your own best friend. That's always a wonderful possibility. Like, I am very best friends with myself. Like, I am my own bestie. So I think that embodying that attitude is integral for you throughout this period, my Infinity Collective. Realizing that your potential is infinite, your compassion is infinite, your ideas are infinite, and that, there is so much more to you, and so much more to your way of being. than you currently realize. I think that this is just about you stepping out of what makes you feel a bit delayed in terms of deliverance. And I think that a lot of those, I don't want to say prohibitions, but like, I will say obstacles are internal. I don't think that it's necessarily having to deal with someone coming in and slighting you, even if that has happened in the past. I think it's more so about the emotions associated with that particular memory, person, or events that are the most obstructive to your progression. I don't think that it's someone actively swooping in and messing around with you. Yeah, especially with the Queen of Cups that just popped out here. This is again about that internal world, mastering your internal world. The Queen of Cups is a very benevolent and loving figure and is so understanding of the people around her for exactly who they are. Oh, this just fell. So I think that, yes, the Ten of Wands here, I think this is about releasing your burden, releasing the dead weight of the past, and finding clearer waters, if anything, you know, not necessarily feeling as if you're drowning or suffocating under your own weight anymore, and finding alternative means of releasing the yes, with death here, allowing the past to be the past, finding life in death as new parts of you grow, different older parts of you will die. But there's beauty in that because it creates room for complexity for one, and two, room for growth. Most importantly, you know, it's about really allowing yourself to feel reborn, if anything, this new moon in Capricorn, and finding out just how you're able to transform accordingly. Death is Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about being the phoenix that rises from the ashes. It's about dying and coming back to life again and again and again. As a Scorpio moon, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But I think that with death being present in this reading, it's just about letting older parts of you die and just letting them rest and leaving flowers on the grave accordingly, so to speak. Especially now that we have King of Coins coming out, this is about claiming a sense of stability for yourself that no one can take away from you. Claiming a sturdy inner world that cannot be rocked, that is incompromisable, if anything. And also honing in on this big Capricorn energy too, I'm really feeling, because this is again that earth suit. So this is all about finding out just how you can feel the most connected and empowered by the environment around you. And even if that means just you know, changing up a little bit of your room, maybe even like changing up the feng shui a bit, or redecorating, reorganizing, releasing any trinkets of the past or things that people have given you and you don't have good memories associated with that person or that item. I definitely think that this is time for you to release it accordingly and to just simply get rid of it. So you can, again, make room for new items with sentiment that is joyous and also complementary to your evolution at the moment. Let's get one more card from this deck just to see what can my beautiful infinity collective expect during this new moon in Capricorn transition. Ooh, somebody flipped and I didn't see who. Hold on, let's find it. Okay, I found it. Five of Cups now. Yeah. Don't feel bound by your past. I'm just going to keep saying that over and over for this group. Mourn your past accordingly if you have to, yeah, especially with the Hierophant. This is all about spiritual counsel and perhaps even your higher self or a mentor figure coming to you and acknowledging that you are going through a very significant transitional period and providing the appropriate support for you during this time. But with Five of Cups coming out, I definitely see this merely as a stage of the grieving process. When you lose anyone, including yourself, or even just older parts of yourself, it's always going to feel like a loss, even if that person has not physically died. You're going to always feel that sense of grief over the fact that they aren't able to be physically present in your reality anymore. So I think that's essentially what it is. Again, like mourning your past self, but not remaining stuck in the cycles of grief. Crying because you realize it's a release, and that you have a an emotional world that is up for renewal, and this is just your way of purging what the past has given you and allowing a new cycle of refreshment and attunement to take place. Now that we have this up, these are some last messages that I'm going to get for you guys from the Eternal Crystals Oracle deck. This is a very, very internal group. I feel like the other groups are very loud, and yours is a lot softer, which I really like. I think that it's always good to have that a sense of balance within readings, and also I think that it's important to recognize that you know, the human experience really is so vast, and that we are constantly progressing and changing for better or for worse. We could also be regressing, mind you. So it really is a delicate push and pull, and I think that your group really understands that. It really understands that humanity, life, and mortality at large are just so fragile, and you know, our connection to them is fleeting. And I feel like your group is really honing in on their emotional space and finding new means of presenting that first and foremost to themselves, so they can then share it with the world in a way that is, I want to say, practical for your group. I really do. I feel like this is very much like my bookkeeper's club of the readings so far. And especially, oh yes, here we go. Now that we have turquoise, this is all about balance. Yeah, so again, that sense of duality, that sense of harmony, realizing how everything runs its course and that you are a sum of your parts, and that especially with this ruling the throat and the heart chakra. Throat chakra is mainly attuned to water energy, and heart chakra is mainly attuned to earth energy. So I think this is really about you evaluating your sense of genuinity, is that, if that's a term, excuse me if it's not, or sincerity I should say, and assuring that it is maintained at an equilibrium, and that you are not compromising your inner harmony for anyone or anything anymore. I think that you are people who constantly have to put on a face to avoid some sort of I want to say, even if it's passive, but I will just say altercation with other people. It doesn't have to be like, you know, big spats, but even if they're passive aggressive, or even if you know, you just had a fear or paranoia that that person would not you know, really be there for you when you needed them the most. I think that this is really up for release at this time, and that, yes, especially with the flow right here, realizing that you are just so loved and so cared for, and you know, you really are this deep feeling being, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. With flow right here, this is about the third eye chakra, so it's about really honing in on your sense of intuition and your internal guidance. And with the Queen of Cups here, that's again that very mystical, sensitive figure. So I think that this is really allowing you to open up and expand the way you perceive your spell, spell. Well, that's what we're gonna get into. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of tea. But I think that even if you want to like say words or affirmations to yourself throughout this new moon cycle that help you reassure yourself that you are doing the best you can with what you have at all times, and that you are divinely guided and guarded by the love that you give and receive. That's a mantra I tell myself very, very often. And it helps a lot, especially if you're someone that's so used to doing things alone, or like being a bit of a loner, so to speak. I feel like that's kind of where this group was, or that's what they're currently reflecting on. Overcoming that feeling and being able to realize just how much love is truly surrounding you, even if you don't see it. Again, that's like I was saying earlier, even if you don't see it, just knowing that it's there, knowing that it's there to embrace you and help you. Oh, it also came out for the last group. So actually, I'm going to take this too. I feel like I understand why. It's so funny. Family business. So maybe these some of these scars do come from family wounds. It's just why I'm hearing that for some of you, you maybe or were a bit of a loner. Maybe you had to look out for yourself growing up, or didn't really have too many people there for you. Maybe you were an only child, and I think this is your time to really evaluate just like how you've progressed with that mentality throughout these years, and finding different ways or different methods of having that internal dialogue and navigation. Your bottom deck energy is clear quartz meditation. Yeah, so this is definitely about clearing out your headspace and your heart space, and recalibrating it, so to speak. With the Iolite, which is family, this is the third eye chakra. Again, this is about two third eye chakra cards. This is really asking you to be open and aware to all of the signs that you may receive, whether it be from family members or even from ancestors, and just being very open to rekindling your relationship with yourself. And if that starts with sorting through business of the past, especially this is sacral chakra, this is all about that sense of ambition matched with that sense of inner guidance. So I definitely feel like for your particular group, it's about being able to really find that sense of invigoration, and releasing what you have gone through in order for you to find it, because I feel like you have just felt so disempowered by your past. You have forgotten that you can reclaim your power, and now you are remembering that you can reclaim your power. So this is time for you to step into yourself, even if it seems very scary. I think that you aren't necessarily hesitant, but you are a bit hurt over the possibility of being hurt, my beautiful Infinity Collective. Especially now that you're being very open and honest with yourself, I feel like that may be a bit scary for some of you, but I don't think that it has to be, because you always should approach yourself without judgment. It's so easy to judge yourself because we always feel like everyone else in the world at large are constantly judging us. So I think that, really shutting up your internal critic for once is going to be a very big theme for you, my beautiful, beautiful Infinity group. And realizing that, again, your potential and power is infinite, and that you really can achieve anything that you set out for yourself. It's just about maintaining a sense of equilibrium first, before you put yourself out there into the big wide world. I feel like once you have that better sense of understanding within yourself, and once you venture outwards towards new projects or jobs or opportunities, I feel like you'll be able to reap again a lot of reward after this period of introspection. I'm really surprised the Hermit card didn't come out for you guys, but I feel that Hermit's all about attaining wisdom, and I feel that you are attaining more so of a sense of clarity, if anything, a sharper perception of the mind, especially with the King of Swords there, and utilizing that truth as your weapon to really cut off any opposition that does not see you or understand you, and making sure that throughout the ups and downs of this cycle, that you have your back and that you are there for yourself, even if you feel like no one else is. And remembering to unconditionally show up for yourself, even if it's hard, or even when you don't look or feel your best. And if you find it difficult, remember that you always have family, you always have friends, spirit kin, or even spirit counsel if no one physically is present. And you can always reach out to them if you are ever feeling alone, or if you are ever feeling as if you simply aren't your most grounded form of self. Taking time to reflect is big for you guys, but also take time to be very gentle with yourself. And when you're not reflecting, don't feel as if you have to continue to deeply ponder about your life. Take time to just live as well, and take time to enjoy the simple pleasures, especially with the King of Coins here. Even if that just means like really restructuring like your home or your routine, like I was saying earlier, just finding new means of meaning, finding new means of meaning within the little things. It will help you paint a bigger picture about the beautiful being that you are evolving into. So that is what I have for you, my beautiful Infinity Collective. I am very humbled and happy to have read for you and provide this insight. Again, do remember that you are not alone, and that the past is simply a new means of space to build and grow upon. So don't feel limited by it. So I do hope that this was helpful. Please do let me know in the comments down below if this resonated, or if you have any other questions or concerns about your reading. I am really looking forward to speaking with you guys soon. Be very gentle and honest with yourselves, and I will see you then. Bye!